This is my old 1978 Chevy pickup truck, two-wheel drive with straight six and a 5-speed transmission. But the biggest obstacle or the bad thing about this truck right now is how bad the cab stinks right now. And that's because when I got the truck, it was already a little bit moldy. And then about a year or so after that, my driveway, my house got flooded and the water came up to about right here. The first thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get this bench seat out of the truck. There's 4 bolts that hold it on. There's one right here. There's one over there, one behind the seat right there, and then one behind the seat right there. Back of the seat down, and this bolt right down here, I can't quite get a socket on it, so I've got one of these little ratcheting spanners. Okay, so now I've got the 4 bolts out of the thing, that being these 4 bolts right here. Yeah, this thing stinks to high heavens. I'm pretty sure that's where most of the bad smell in my truck is emanating from. Sometimes the mold smell is so bad in that truck I can barely drive. I'm just like, gotta open the windows and put the blower on. And since there's no AC in the truck, I mean, it's not really that enjoyable. Okay, I've got the Joann fabric foam over there. That was kind of expensive. It was like around $30 a yard, but I bought 2 different types of foam. I bought 5 feet by 2.5 feet of the 3-inch foam, and then I bought about 7 feet of the 2-inch foam because I've got another chair that I'm going to rewrap. I also bought this burlap and these safety pins because I was thinking the springs on the bottom of this chair right here might turn into this foam right here. They didn't the original manufacturer's foam, but you know, this, you never know. I saw another video where somebody used burlap to go on top of the spring, so I'm going to use that. So I got most of the bottom foam off. These hog rings were holding a lot of that fabric on there, and they're just gross. And there's like little chunks of dirt that came off this thing from dirt daubers and God knows what else. So I'm just gonna go ahead and vacuum a lot of this stuff up. There's a little bit of fabric left on this side and on that side on these corners because obviously the hinge points are going through the fabric and holding it there, and this plastic cover is holding it, so I'm going to unscrew it and see if that helps any from me getting these last pieces of fabric off there. So all this is, you know, way better than it used to be because all that moldy foam and fabric is off there, but I'm still going to take these things out in the backyard. I'm going to hose them off with the hose. What's up, Jacob? And then I'm going to get a can of Rust-Oleum and I'm just going to repaint them black so that all that mold or whatever garbage was on there is just totally, you know, gone, sealed away. Okay, instead of putting that one layer just on the top, I decided it's better to have the whole thing going underneath and overlapping. So I flipped the car seat upside down, and then I cut a bigger piece of fabric that would go and fold, and then I attached it to these little holes right here. I got both pieces of foam cut. I got this one, and I got the 3-inch one underneath. These springs right here are the reason that I did that. And the original foam piece, about 5 inches. I've seen the videos where people like do their own, you know, car seat upholstery. They make it out of a blanket or something. for this truck, it's a work truck. I really wanted like a good piece of vinyl or a, you know, just something that liquids couldn't go through. So I just decided to order from rockauto.com, which is one of my favorite places to order from, and I went ahead and ordered the kind of expensive original vinyl covering, which I'm hoping, you know, fits over this weird foam thing that I made for the car seat. So, just kind of see how this thing fits over. And it looks like this kit actually did come with, I think these are hog rings or some weird type of staples. And, I don't know, some type of pliers, maybe those are hog ring pliers. There's two little grooves in the pliers right there, and you get it in there and squeeze it. These are plastic J-hooks, and I just folded that underneath the flange of the metal. And then the directions said that if you have the upholstery seat covers that just have J-hooks, that you don't need to put the hog rings in them, but my fabric is kind of too thick on one side and too thin on the other. This was like pulling really tight on here, and this one was a little bit too loose. So I drilled holes in the plastic of the J-hook, put the hog rings on the J-hooks where they didn't necessarily, well, where they did need them, and then I went ahead and put the hog rings 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on that. And that fabric has a little plastic bead on both sides made for it. It turned out pretty good overall though. I'm actually pretty happy with it. I was able to keep the burlap in there. But even though it was a lot of work for me, I'd say it was the nicest thing is I did order, you know, the new original vinyl upholstery from rockauto.com. That's just to give a close-up of where the hog rings went. And, you know, there's holes just like that I used to put the hog ring through on the metal. The one thing I did not like about, or I didn't feel comfortable about this, is I had to cut my own holes for the seat catch and the bolt that holds the backrest on there. And I guess that's part of that assembly. Okay, I got the backrest here, and I've got this 2-inch foam for it. I was at Joann Fabrics. I had to buy a little bit more of this. I didn't feel like buying a whole new thing, so I just got the 4.5 foot or 5 foot piece at that, or 4.5 foot, and then cut the extra piece. It's gonna have that vinyl prefab cover over it in the first place, so I'm pretty content with it. I'm just gonna cut these corners off real quick. This one's a little bit easier than the last one, because it's really just an envelope that you put it inside of. Okay, it was way easier for me to just put the back chair frame by itself slid into this envelope. I mean, the foam was just like making it impossible. So, I didn't want to do that on camera because it took me way longer and I got way more frustrated than I should have. I don't know how people do upholstery for a living, but I guess you get used to it or you just have a natural knack for it. I have a natural knack for wanting to fix up old pickup trucks and old motorcycles. That is what motivates me to do this, but I do it as a means to an end, not because I enjoy doing it itself. Okay, I finished putting all the hog rings in the bottom of this seat right here. It was pretty simple. Both beads I kind of connected together, and every once in a while I would actually go through one of the metal spring wires to make sure that it doesn't move, you know, the seat doesn't shift up or down. Alright, I got the backrest connected to the seat. I think it's pretty much finished. I just got to put it in my truck, but I'm going to wipe my truck out with some good cleaner to get any sort of mold residue out of it, and then I'm going to redo the headliner as well, but this is pretty much finished. I wish that I did actually put a blanket in here for some more padding, because I think the original was 3 inches, but it's actually quite comfortable. So. Okay, I just finished cleaning out the inside of the truck. I also removed the headliner, and I took all the old stuff off of it, and I sprayed it with Kills paint sealer, or actually a paint that's kind of similar to that, both sides. But more than anything, man, I cleaned the heck out of this cab with Pine Sol antibacterial. I mean, I scrubbed almost every square inch of it, including the windows and anything that could possibly have mold on it.
Just your helper lady.
Helper lady. Okay, if you want to pick up that side. Luckily, my wife is nice enough to help me. Yeah, if I ever do one of these again, I won't spend $180 on the upholstery kit. I'd rather just wrap it myself, because there's plenty of YouTube videos on how to do that perfectly. I think one of the videos that I watched was just some teenage kid doing it, and he nailed it. He did a great job on it.
What did he use?
He used the same foam fabric that I got from Joann Fabric. He used the burlap cloth also on both sides. I only used it on the bottom. And then he used, after he did that, I think he wrapped the foam in the burlap as well. But his final thing was just an Irish wool blanket, or some type of, it looked like wool Scottish cloth or something that he wrapped the whole seat in, and it looked really good. I mean, I'm doing this because I don't want moisture or anything to go into it, but
I like it. It looks pretty nice.
Yeah, like this works for what I'm doing.
It looks professional.
All right, there's the seat inside of the truck. It's so clean. I come in here and it smells nice, but I realized I made a big mistake that nobody, in no way I could have known or guessed before. There's this scratch right here, and a scratch right there, and one over there, and maybe one over there. And it's because when I put the hog rings on the backrest down here, I obviously put them in the wrong place. I put them like right at the very bottom, and I guess you're supposed to attach them. I mean, well, honestly, where it looked like both the pieces of vinyl came together, that was the most logical place to put the hog rings. But I should have, found some way to peel them up and connect them a little bit further, towards the back, because they are rubbing on this really bad, and that looks like crap. And I'm so angry that I just put like a little scratch in this vinyl in like 2 or 3 different places, because it's just like, man, this is brand new. So don't make the mistake that I made, and when you do the hog rings on the backrest, make sure that they don't rub against the seat bottom, because it really sucks and it'll piss you off really bad. You want to rip your hair out. But getting in here and sitting, this is the very first time that I've sat in this truck since I bought it that it actually smells pleasant in here, and I don't have to worry about some weird mold inhalation giving me cancer later in my life. So yeah, it's pretty nice. I guess that'll conclude my total amateur job of reupholstering my seat.